Hello everyone. A very good morning to one and all. On behalf of AARI Chennai, I take this immense pleasure of welcoming you all to this bio webinar session 4. Today we have our special guest, Dr. Kiran Ranadev, Associate Professor of Botany, Anna Sahib Mahavidyalaya, Pune, Maharashtra. Sir is a recognized postgraduate teacher and recognized MPhil and PhD guide in botany as well as environmental sciences and soft skill trainer of Savitribai Phule Pune University. He is an invited associate editor for the international peer-reviewed journal MicroAsia and also a notable reviewer for the journals Cryptogram, Biodiversity and Assessment and Current Research in Environmental and Applied Mycology. Sir received the prestigious Martin Baker International Award for 2017 by Mycological Society of America for his excellent work in the field of mycology. He is also the recipient of prestigious Bharat Jyoti National Award for his excellence in the area of education, research, and social work. There are several other national awards given for his excellence in research and social work by various educational institutes and universities across India. Sir is a key person in making the international collaboration with Kumarov Botanical Institute, St. Petersburg, Russia, for wood rotting fungal studies. The new genus Renadivia 2018 of family Formicosidaceae has been named in honor of Dr. Kiran Ranade. He is a well-renowned mycologist of the country who extensively studied the diversity and taxonomy of polyporales. He also found a new species of fungus, Xyleria simplococci from India. A self-funded website of All Indian Fungus Group stand evident for the research excellence of Dr. Kiran Sir. It is of enormous help for researchers in the field of mycology. Sir is an acting research advisor member and nominated as a board of studies in botany for TC College, Baramati. He has numerous peer-reviewed publications in national and international journals and notable contribution for Marathi Science Calendar and also authored several book chapters. Upon recognition of his research importance, he was interviewed by All India Radio for more than 15 programs. He is instrumental for numerous government initiatives and a part of special committees working on the area of science and development. Other than the academic and research contributions, Sir is well known for his social work among students and other communities. The achievements of him are numerous to enumerate with this short time. Without further delaying, I take the honor of welcoming Dr. Kiran Ranade for delivering his speech on the importance of mycotaxonomy and need of myco database documentation. Sir, we are really excited and eager to hear from you. Over to Dr. Kiran Ranade, sir.
Thank you so much, sir, for very nice introduction. I would at the outset, I would like to thank Dr. Perumal sir, as well as all members of AARI and of course my friend Dr. Without wasting our time, I think we can directly start our session. Perumal sir, I will share my slides just now. Okay, is it visible now?
Yes, sir, you can view.
Is it?
Yes, sir,
yes.
You can play it.
Okay. Yeah, so very good morning to all of you. So today's topic, which I'm going to talk, that is importance of mycotaxonomy and need of myco databases documentation. I think rather I must thank you all first, because for such topic which is very much neglected nowadays from taxonomic point of view, you are attending in so much response. So I must thank you all for joining this particular talk. Now, before I go into details of the talks of related to the mycotaxonomy as well as the myco databases, some questions are there in my mind. So I think we should go for those questions, try to answer, rather try to share some of the things about the questions, and then we'll proceed further for our next slides. So the first question comes in my mind: are we behaving naturally? Now this is the obvious question. And of course, I think from this question, one must understand every facet of this nature. It is not that, not like that this only angiosperms are important, or only bryophytes are important, or only lichens are important. Every individual on this earth, Mother Earth, is equally important. So like that thinking, if we are having in our mind, that means we are really behaving naturally. That's what I think. So first and the foremost, I would like to tell you one thing, that we should respect each and every individual. Of course, we should respect from the taxonomic point of view, although whether it is not directly needed for your career or future, let it be, but try to understand what nature is telling you. I think that is also part and parcel of the your behavior being natural. Next thing, that is taxonomy and mycodiversity. Nowadays, if you could take the world survey, then hardly 20 to 22% fungi are identified from world. So it's really great opportunity. It's really great opportunity for all of us to, I mean, identify some of the species which, I mean, from the mycotaxonomic point of view. And of course, that is nothing but the study of mycodiversity. Now, this taxonomy and mycodiversity, why I'm talking all these things, because nowadays you will get minimum taxonomist, rather morphotaxonomist, but maximum the mycological biotechnologist, because all the time students are thinking that only doing DNA, RNA, and all those studies will give you each and everything. Will give you the status, but not the pure taxonomy. But friends, I would like to tell you, if you could start from the basic morphotaxonomy, then only you can give the best results in the actual mycodiversity which is existing around. So for that purpose, we must go for both the things, basic taxonomic things as well as the applied things as well. That is the second thing which I wanted to tell you. Now the third thing, for what we really need the taxonomy. So here, as we are knowing that everywhere people are talking about so many species are there. So there's some species declining, some species are becoming rare, endangered, extinct, and whatnot. So what are these things? Why these things are happening? So because these things, if you could answer all these things, then of course these things are happening because we are not caring regarding the taxonomy as well as taxonomic study nowadays that much. And because of that, many species before coming into existence, rather before coming to I mean our, you can say, visualization, it is becoming extinct. So it is really problematic. So every taxonomist, rather this is my kind request to all taxonomists, please go for morphotaxonomy first, and please then you can follow the I mean whatever latest technological things. Because if you could do all these things, then only we could conserve whatever remaining, you can say, organisms are there on this earth. Because this in these days, if you go to any area, because of so many human encroachments, we are really I mean getting so many habitat losses, and these losses are really causing a very high, we can say, danger for these taxonomic things. So that's why we should think about this particular thing. Next thing is, are we forgetting taxonomy? So according to me, yes, we are a little bit forgetting the morphotaxonomy over here, because everywhere people are asking about the applied, you can say, aspects. Even some journals also are asking about some of the phylogenetic trees and all, whatever those mycotaxonomical things, of course applied mycotaxonomical things. But the basic taxonomic thing, publishing journals are also becoming very rare nowadays. So that's for that purpose, it is my request to all those higher authorities also, that there should be some journals which should continue with the morphological taxonomy, so that our new generation or young generation will get the essence of that typical taxonomy, so that nobody will forget this particular taxonomy in future also. Next is need of the basics and changing the needs of time. Although there are the changing needs, we can say, but all these whatever changing needs are there, the basic things we should not forget. We should not forget the basic taxonomy. Once again, I'm coming to that point, because all these things are happening because nowadays, when survey I did from Maharashtra, then I came to know that some of the species from Himachal area are becoming now, rather are getting now in our Western Ghats, like part of the Pune district Western Ghat, that is Tamini and Mulshi area. So, so it is very necessary that one should study these things, that how come that species which is occurring in Himachal Pradesh, we are getting over here at this particular climatic variations. So what is the thing, what type of ecological changes has been taken place, and so on and so forth. So it is very necessary to study the microecology also, because this microecology also going to tell you each and everything about the species and its occurrence also. So I think this is what the need of basics and the changing need of time. Next is need of the balance of old and recent one. One very great person from wood rotting fungi from world, Professor Leif Riverden sir. When I discussed with him about the recent and the older systems of study systems of the classifications or whatever taxonomic studies, then what he said you have to do the balancing. Means you should not forget the classical taxonomy, as well as you should not forget the applied one. So both the things are equally necessary to get the final very prominent, you can say, output of our research. Next thing is going into this microtaxonomical study. Because of this, it is really very much a great threat to our biodiversity conservation, I think. And for that purpose, one should think about biodiversity conservation from the mycological point of view. One very small experiment I did when one biodiversity park was prepared at Mahabaleshwar, Gureghar Mahabaleshwar. Then I was, through somebody, I was invited for doing something from fungi and lichen point of view. Then there, naturally, we have developed one area of 2 to 3 acre area, in which we have conserved the lichen as well as the fungal species as it is. And we have given the typical scientific names, plates over there and everything. So whenever and wherever somebody is going for such type of, you can say, biodiversity parks, they can get the information easily on the same thing by taking lead. Then also it is really great work towards the biodiversity conservation, I would say. The next thing is urgent need to conserve the mycotaxonomist. As I already told, that people are thinking that this pure mycological study means taking microscope and working several hours together under that, and then we could get something after 2 to 3 months. It is not, like that. If you visit your area also, at least minimum, I could say, in your botanical garden also, if we could take 1 meter by 1 meter area, then also you could get more than 25 species of fungi, of macro as well as micro fungi. So it is having tremendous diversity in your own locality. So at least try to study that locality from the mycological point of view in your area as per your time schedule. It is not necessary that at only particular time you should study that, but you should study that and you should document it. And I think if you could do this, then definitely you are doing something related to the mycotaxonomist conservation. Now the next question is the ways of conserving mycotaxonomies from India. Of course, the funding for morphotaxonomy. Nowadays, if you'll not put something applied, very less funds are made available like that for some projects. So it is really very serious thing. So one should concentrate on the same. Then next is people attraction and need of molecular taxonomy. So we should rather, as a myco student, I will not say myself as a mycologist, but I would say as a myco student, we should attract the people, we should attract the students towards this fungal taxonomy first, morphotaxonomy, and of course you should also insist them to study the molecular taxonomy. Third thing, impact factor problem. Everybody is thinking about publishing his or her research paper in very good impact factor journals, but believe me, UGC care listed journals are also equally good, equally fantastic, and I think one must publish your research in a very authentic like UGC care listed journals, as well as of course possible in impact factor also. But don't think that if your research is not published in the impact factor journals, that doesn't mean that it is not at all having any use for the science. But believe me, a simple checklist of your area are also playing very important role in the actual biodiversity conservation, believe me. So you should go for publication, and you should not think about the impact factor, but one must think about UGC care listed, because some fake journals are also there, as UGC had listed so many. Next thing is university syllabi. Our university syllabi are also equally good, but there need to some enrichment to such syllabus as per the recent taxonomic things. Like for example, whatever those we can say phylogenetic analysis was, as well as we should not forget about the links which are from the past, like paleobotany as paleomycology also. So university syllabus also should take into consideration such type of things. Then also we can do a lot regarding the attraction of people. Then college syllabus also should be included some of the things from mycology, like fortunately in FY level we are having good, but at SY level we are not having that much contents about the fungi. So if we could continue some of the things like FY, SY and TY level at college level, UG level, then also it will play a very important role for this conservation of interest regarding fungi. Then next is collaboration problem. People's interest, need of time, superiority complexes, unnecessary secrecy of the knowledge. One should avoid all these things. If you avoid all these things, then definitely collaboration problems will not come. And definitely, we are getting so many good examples in so many you can say good journals. The research papers which are coming having more than 75 authors also. So I think such type of collaborations are really ideal for everybody. So one should go for such types of collaborative works. Then only we can say we can consider the mycologists over here. Then student interest and human resource development. So we should increase this interest in our students. Then, as I already talked about balance of taxonomists and biotechnology syllabus of the universities, then we must give some direction to the students. Although that student is from FYBSc, we should give some projects, little project about the taxonomic thing. Then he or she will create interest in the same. Then role of mycological society of interest development in students. Now, it is my kind request to all mycological societies to give something, some programs to the nearby areas, nearby schools, nearby colleges, so that the mycological interest can be developed. Then role of NGOs and mycological societies. Then role of NGOs and mycological societies is also very important, because these non-government organizations are also equally playing very important role. The next one is lacking of special mycological institutes and its outreach. Now there are certain mycological institutes, but so many other mycological institutions are also necessary. One must think, government also must think about the special mycological institutions, and which can look after all these things. Then one more thing I have pinpointed, that is lack of training at UG and PG level. Now, our students should get some training train them in a particular way at UG level as well as PG level, then definitely we can develop a lot of things in mycology in India. Next is recognition problems. So people, sometimes people are facing that nobody is recognizing our efforts. So it is my request to all that please continue your work. People will come to know about your work on one fine day, definitely, because that without that recognition, nothing is going to be like that only. So please do your work as fast as you can, as perfectly as you can. Then the next thing is linking problem between institutions and colleges. The institutions are excellently doing all those things, research, but the college people are just visiting those institutions only on the science day. Hello. Hello.
It was a small disturbance by someone. You can continue, sir.
Okay, okay. Next one is that I was talking that colleges are visiting the institutions only on the science day. So it is my request to all colleges and members, teaching members or non-teaching members also, please try to tell your students that this person is working on this thing in this institution. And please, if you are having interest, then please try to go and talk with that scientist and get the idea. So like that thing, if you could, develop from our college level itself, then definitely some collaborations will occur, linking will occur. Then next is having data but confused about the journal or impact. Of course, please generate the data and of course get the help from the senior persons as well as senior mycologists. You will definitely get through all those things. Then non-availability of the specified group guides. Yeah, it is the problem in India nowadays because of the, you can say, mycologists are becoming rare in India, morphotaxonomies also. And because of that, if I want to work on pazazels of the fungi from India, then very less people are working on the same group. So if I'm having the contact with those people, then only I can get, otherwise I cannot get. And for the same purpose, I have developed that website. At least that from that website, you will come to know who are those authors, those who have published the data on that particular group. Next one is role of biodiversity and role of forest department. I'm sure in every locality, forest department is really doing a great job, as well as forest institutions are also playing very important role in those areas. But I think those forest forgetting all those things. My book or library, and he or she, the college students will read authorship problem. Many of the times we think that whether I will get authorship or not. Just don't think about those things. You should go for your work in mycotaxonomy, and then I think it will be a fantastic thing. And on some day, involvement of the media in the myco programs. Now here somewhere, I think we must look at very seriously that although very good quantitative and qualitative research is going on in India, but I think media is getting very very less. You can say, attention towards these micro programs. So one should have that micro programs. Should have the interaction with the media person. Then hello, Perumal sir, some disturbance is there, I think.
Yes, sir. Somebody is. I'm trying to find who's there.
Yeah,
Excuse me, please, audience.
Okay. The next one is recognition for the micro labs with collaboration. Of course, there are so many micro labs in India. So if all micro labs will come together and will form one cluster network, then it will be the fantastic thing. The next one, workshops, seminars, and conferences for students like different topics, and of course it will be very helpful. The next one is fungal taxonomy competitions should be arranged, of course, from photographic point of view, line drawing point of view, conservation point of view. Then I think one can get so many good ideas for the development. And the last I would like to tell you over here, that is learn to appreciate the criticism. When somebody is doing some research or some work, of course some people may criticize you that what you are doing, this is what the thing which has been already done by this fellow or that fellow, then what is your contribution in that? But please continue, just forget about those things, try to keep those minds, try to keep positive points of energy, then only we can do a lot. So I would like to thank especially these persons like Professor J.G. Vaidya sir, Mrs. Meeta Vaidya madam, late Professor Dr. Arun Sathe sir, Dr. Sathe madam, Professor Neeta Jagtap, Professor Dr. V.D. Ranade sir, and Dr. Gauri Bapat for funding this my website, that is Fungi from India. I think this fungal classification, as we all know, that is Ainsworth's classification division, Myxomycota and Eumycota. I will not go into much details of this, but I would like to just now we have talked about to conservation of the mycologist. Now we should take the glimpses of what type of diversity is there. So these are some of the glimpses, and before that we must know the fungal diversity. So in 1991, Hawksworth sir has already estimated that are expected that 1.5 million species of fungi might be there. But in this recent paper in 2017 in Microbiology Spectrum, he has only written down that is up to 3.8 million species may be there. So this much data is there. This is from world. So from India, although we are not getting the recent, means yesterday how many fungi were there, we are not getting that much data, and for that purpose only I have prepared that website, and I'm doing that particular thing, which will be completed after 2 years. So after 2 years you will be able to get the exact data of the specified groups of fungi over there. So here I would like to focus your attention to the great person, Dr. A.V. Sathe sir from Rust. He has published so many things from Rust, and he was a renowned mushroomologist also. Of course, he is Principal V.D. Borse sir. He has worked a lot in aquatic fungi, and he has published the excellent publication, that is Marine Fungi of India, the monograph, Broadway Book Center, Borse et al. Now, this is one of the best contribution in aquatic fungi. I think such types of contributions every person should try to do, and for that purpose you need a lot of efforts and of course the perfect guideline from these people. Next person I would like to tell you about Dr. V.D. Ranade sir, my guru. With him I have contributed one book, that is which you are seeing on your desktop, that Flora of the Myxomycetian fungi from Western Maharashtra. So these are the line drawings, and of course here in this slide I am showing these are the three the species of Physarum. The first one over here, it is having stock. Second one, it is not having stock, and this is also not having stock. So in this, Physarum single genus, you are getting in these three photographs, you are getting so much variations. At the same time, this is the Fuligo, and this is the book which you can see later on. That is for Flora. This is the first Maharashtrian book on this Myxomycetian fungi. The next great personality from India, Dr. M.V. Deshpande sir, scientist, emeritus, NCL. He has found out so many new species, and he has found out which types of chemicals are responsible for the shooting of this cap of this particular fungus. So very well-known mycologist of India. Then third person who was principal of SP College, Dr. M.A. Pentse sir. He worked on entomopathogenic fungi, and he found out some fungus from this millipede gut. So these are also areas which are really need to be focused. The next slide, in this slide you are seeing Dr. R.C. Upadhyay sir, great Indian mycologist, mushroomologist of India, Dr. D.J. Bhatt sir, very much specialized person in hyphomycetes, and of course Dr. B.D. Borse sir, you know very well. Nextly, I would like to show you the exact diversity. Now, in this particular diversity, just a minute. Now, in this diversity, if you could see, now all these fungi, whatever you are seeing, that is Chelminia, Cyathus, Scytomium, Paniolus, Coprinus, Papillobolus, Scytomium, everything, it is belongs to the dung fungal group. So on a specific dung, specific type of fungi generally comes. And I think if you could concentrate, then this type of research is highly applicable for preparation of some of the chemicals or the liquids which are going to clear the whatever you can say pipelines or blocked pipelines over there. So means it is very necessary that the basic study to applied study, that linking you should be able to do, then only you can do a lot in this particular field. Then this next type is Deuteromycotus fungus. So see the beauty, although the fungus is very small, but it is having great effects on that particular thing. Then this is the nice photograph of Ascomycetes fungus taken by my friend, Mr. Raman Kulkarni. Is the great wildlife photographer and wildlife warden of Kolhapur. She is the person who is helping me a lot in every sense. These types of fungi should be focused. Now in Western Ghats of Maharashtra, I have seen so many species of such types of Ascomycetes fungi, and of course one must focus on those species also. So he is the person, Mr. Raman Kulkarni. So I have purposely written over here, get the skilled human resources from the maximum fields. So of course, you should find out, you should collaborate with such great persons who have got so many good photographic awards from India as well as abroad. So you should make a nice group of all these people, skilled people, then only you can publish, or rather you can enrich your publication quality also. So see the Ascomycetes fungi, some Nectrias, some Xylarias, some Hypoxylon, as well as some Sarcosypha, etc. So here we can see Dr. Alka Pandey madam, retired scientist, who wrote Ascomycetes of Peninsular India. One should read this book if you would like to do something on Ascomycetes fungi from India. Next is another group, we can say Basidiomycetes group, or very smooth fungal group, we can say Gastromycetes. Now these are the fungi which requires very high humidity. So during rainy season only you could get all these species. So one must go for such type of photographic and of course the morphotaxonomy documentation. Then I'm sure that many new species, many new genera, sometimes you may get family also. Sometimes you may get, if you are lucky enough to, then you may get some orders also, order novo also. Then these are some of the bird nest fungi. So see the nest-like fungus, but it is having tremendous diversity. That is Crucibulum, Nudula, Nudularia, Cyathus, etc. So in single, you can say type or group of fungus, so much diversity is there, and that diversity you should be able to observe. Now these are some of the Gastromycetes fungi. Of course, Mutinous, Dictyophora, Phallus, and then your Bacteria, Montagnia, etc. Then this is what the Clavariaceae group, coral fungi in commonly we call. These are the photographs of Mr. Raman Kulkarni, and he has photographed in such a nice way. He's having more than colored Clavariaceae members. Like cordyceps are there, Entomopthora is there, then Viveria bassiana is there. So many are there. If you could find out some of the some of the more species of such type, then I think it will be the great revolution in the plant pathogenic, you can say, fungi, and of course in the control of the pathogenic, you can say, diseases. Then this is the next group, Aphylophorans, wood-rotting fungal group, in which we get Hexagonia as well as Pycnoporus and many Didalia-like species. In this species also, we get so much variation in Western Ghats. As I'm staying at Pune, of course, the patch which is very nearer to me is Pune district, Western Ghat. So I regularly visit such areas and got certain photographs. But these two photographs, this is the one and this is the next one. These two photographs I have taken from Mr. Raman Kulkarni. Now the next thing, that is some of the medicinal fungi also we do get in our localities, like Lentinula idodes, that is called shiitake, and the Ganoderma. So many species of Ganoderma. We have published one publication that is taxonomy and diversity of Ganoderma from western parts of Maharashtra. Also we have published, and you can see that paper. It is also a good cited paper. Now here the point is that you must concentrate on any one of the groups first, and then maximize your vision towards these specified groups. Then I think you can do a lot in taxonomy. So these are the Indian grade mycologists, Professor Anjali Roy. Then so many are there. Dr. J.R. Sharma is there, Dr. Lakhanpal sir is there, Dr. Ganesh sir is there. Like so many are from Aphylophorus, wood rotting fungal contributors. Then mycorrhizas, of course, I'm not going to tell you what are mycorrhizas. Of course, these symbiotic type of things, and of course the types of mutualisms they are having. Of course, ecto, endo, and ectendo. Now regarding this also from Pune as well as from India, some people have excellently contributed. Professor Nair Madam, then Dr. Rodriguez sir, Professor Tirumalachari sir, as well as so many like Professor Manorachari sir, Dr. Jite Madam, as well as Dr. Shinde sir. So many Indian contributors are there. So if you would like to work on this particular mycorrhiza, and I think you can contact these people and get the help. They will definitely guide you in a very fantastic way. But please don't forget to observe such type of things. Now here you can find the mushroom which is growing, and of course the grass quality also you can say. See the quantity of foliage is much. So of course you should not stick to some of the genera of only mycorrhizas. You should expand your view, and of course some mushrooms which are of course mycorrhizal associations, like this in this next diagram we can see. So here this is the plant, and these are of course the associations over here. So mushrooms are playing very nice you can say associations. So please try to find out and try to use some of these things in your farm also. I think it may give a very fantastic result. These are now lichens, of course. In Marathi we call dagadful. So of course combinations of phycobiont and mycobiont. Now from this particular group also, we are having stalwarts of India. Of course, Dr. Avasthi sir, Dr. Patrodhan sir, Dr. Upreti sir, Dr. Nayaka sir, Dr. Urmila Makhija madam. So many great people are there. So one can take their help for identification. Now these are some of the habitats of lichens. Of course, some are coming on the rocks, and of course, some are coming on the bark. So like these graphes, as well as some of them are coming on bark itself. That is Parmelia, then Caloplaca, then so many are there. Usnea is also there, Porina is also there. So many groups, as well as you can say Saxicolous, Folicolous, as well as Corticolous, you can say groups are there of lichens. So one can focus on any of these groups and work further. So next, I would like to talk that we should learn some of the recent trends also, like chemotaxonomy, molecular taxonomy, and of course the cladistics and evolution. Now, while studying all these things, you should not forget to take references of the best databases from the mycology, that is MycoBank database, as well as the Index Fungorum, to get the recent, you can say, additions over there. And I'm very happy and fortunate to have one very great person from Kew Garden now, Professor Paul Kirk. He has helped me a lot for building, rather getting the linking of my fungal species, whatever I have collected from India. Then this is what in the introduction told, that is Randivia, the new genus has been published on my name by the great scientist, Dr. one of my friend who is very excellent and doing excellent work in polyporels, Dr. Ivan Zemitrovic, and he has published in Folia Cryptogamic Petropolitina. So one should have this particular original document in your, you can say, collection to know at least such type of contributions we can do. Then nextly, I would like to talk upon the paleomycology. Now, paleomycology, these are some of the records, that is Archaeomarasmius. So fossil macrofungi, at the same time, fossils microfungi also we should focus. And from this, I think one can do so many good impact journal publications, and it is possible to do. So such type of references which are available freely on Indian or of course Google sites, it is freely available. Now the next group where one must focus, that is mycophagy. So of course here in the first photograph, the squirrel is eating the Pleurotus species. In the second one, it is eating some of the tricholomatide, and the third one, it is clathroid. So Clathrus-like fungus it is eating. So at the same time, it is eating so many different types of mushrooms. So what type of mushrooms are taken as a food by these squirrels, as well as you could see over here, then here it is the spider, which always is associated with this particular Anthracophyllum species. Then this is typical, you can say, millipede over here, and this millipede is generally associated always with this type of puffball, and this is the mushroom on which these beetles generally occur. So there is some relation. Some chemical compounds attracts all these insects or whatever you can say animals. So one should find out what is that particular factor. And such type of mycophagal things are also nowadays very, very well appreciated. Then the thing comes about myco databases and preparation. So first thing, that is wet lab and dry lab. So wet lab, generally all sectioning, extractions, everything we do. But dry labs things also we should start, that is preparation of databases, that is from the bioinformatics and application point of view. So one can take the help of any bioinformatic person for the for the preparation of the dry lab. So government is giving very good funding for these dry labs also nowadays. So we should get good advantage. Now, the question comes, I'm coming towards the end of this slideshow. So I would like to show you some of the things, how to build the fungal data. So first thing, select your favorite group of fungi and focus on any one group. Keep the records of the field observation in a field notebook. Prepare the records in a soft copy format, MS Word or MS Excel format. If you could store it in MS Excel format, it will be a fantastic thing, because Excel formats can be imported later on in any format very easily. Like that, it is not possible for Word formats. So you should go for the excellent Excel formats. Then keep the photographic documentation records with the date, GPS location if possible. If not, then just try to get directly the advanced technology, that is geotag photographs. So these geotag photographs will give you everything in a single click. So such type of things also you must learn. Get the formats of the published data to prepare the standard data. Now there are so many, means 1,000 or you can say many papers are there on internet which are having very good formats of how to prepare this data for any type of databases. So you can just collect those data basis formats and then prepare your own format, own system, which is very, very user friendly, and try to generate that particular data. Next is make a group of techno persons having knowledge of different fields which can be applied for the data collection and publishing of the data. That is very, very important. And because I think if you could gather at least one person from computer field, one person from molecular field, one person from basic taxonomic field, one person from the chemical analytical field, then I think it will be the great working station which you can develop at your own institution. It will be the fantastic thing. Then next is check the references, and if possible, then publish the data in a form of checklist. So please, it's my kind request to all of you, try to wherever in which location you are there or whatever your study area is there, please try to publish first checklist, so that you will come to know how many species are there. Then try to focus one group and then go forward. and then I think it will be the great thing. Next thing, this is what the website, that is www.fungifromindia.com. Of course, having 7,500 species, but let me clear, these species, I haven't published these species. These species are already published in Fungi from India, as well as the whatever you can say monographs which are published from India from different groups of fungi. I have just compiled all these things, but this thing was not there. Before that, before 2012. So on 2012, I have published this particular thing in a form of database, and I'm very much thankful to Professor D.L. Hawksworth sir for he's the editor of that IMA Fungus Journal, International Mycological Fungus Journal is there. IMA Fungus Journal is there. International Mycological Association Fungus Journal, like that fungus journal is there. So he has published that particular paper, that is Fungi from India. It is first time from India it has been published, and it has been published in the 4.69 impact factor also. Scopus journal. So you can have a look to that particular article. If you want, then I can send you also that article on mail, no problem. But try to look that. So the simple thing can be given, rather can give best result over there. So like that, if you could start at your level, it will be the fantastic thing. This is the thing. Website, you can say URL is also there, www.fungifromindia.com. This is the front page of my website, having databases, then photo gallery, then publications, awards, references, education, Indian scientists contact us, and of course you can get the website statistics. I'm very much happy to tell you that for this single website, per month, minimum 1.5 lakh people observe my website from different countries. Of course, all countries have visited my website, and this is the free of cost website. So like this databases you should prepare, and you should make available such things free of cost to the people. Then definitely people will use it, and definitely many of them will appreciate also the same. So this is what the way the card look like from my website, that is family, rod type, host, locality, geographical distribution, original reference, research work, etc., etc. So nextly, I would like to enlist over here which are the databases. So first one I add, that is Indian Aphalofungal database, Indian Myxomycetes database, Indian Marine Fungal database, Indian Ascomycetes fungal database, Indian mushroom database, Indian rust fungal database, and Indian lichen database. So these are the databases which I have developed, and of course these databases, every database, every species has been given to the a proper linking to the Mycobank database by Professor Paul Kirk. So I'm very much thankful to him also. So it is my kind request to all of you to save the taxonomy, and this is the mantra which in Marathi I have repeated, that is Om Burushi Deve Nama. Of course, the meaning of this is many medicinal things are hidden in these fungal potentials. So of course we must try to tap such types of resources. Of course we should tap the resources from every angle, but try to focus much on fungi, so it may give very excellent result in near future. So I'm very much thankful to Dr. Paul Kirk, the first author of Dictionary of Fungi, for giving me such type of link. Then Honorable Director Annakalli Amma Research Institute, Tamil Nadu, Honorable Dr. Perumal Sir from Tamil Nadu, then Honorable Sandeep Kadam Sahib, Secretary PDA Pune, Honorable Principal Dr. Pandit Shelke Sir, AM College Hadap Sir, Dr. Vaibhav Mantri, Principal Scientist, CSM CRI Bhavnagar, and all myco contributors from the world for their excellent help. And of course, because of them only, I could do such type of thing at a very good level. Thank you so much.
Okay, so here are some of the queries made by audience. So
yeah,
Ranadive sir will answer those things. Sir, there is a question from a research scholar: why taxonomists face lack of opportunity?
Okay, actually a very important question you have raised, so thank you for your question. But I would say taxonomists are not it is not the condition that taxonomists are neglected, but I would say taxonomists need to do some collaborations then only it is possible to bring some of that researches at their level. Because nowadays, if you are going only only doing for only morphotaxonomic things, of course it is very, very important, but at the same time, if you could do some applied research with the help of some other person in a collaboration manner, although it is possible that if it is not from suppose that much instrumentation is not possible in your lab, then try to collaborate with another lab, so that your research will be getting focus of any multi-dimensional things. So I think you should take this thing from that angle. So it is not like that it is neglected, but it should be rather uplifted to that level. I hope.
Okay, sir. The next question: explain morphotaxonomy versus molecular taxonomy, from Dr. Purushottam Ramte.
Yeah, please repeat the question.
Explain the difference between morphotaxonomy and molecular taxonomy, like just a comparison kind of.
Okay, morphotaxonomy, sir. Actually, take for example, suppose we are doing some wood rotting fungal study. Suppose, say for example, any Didalia fungus. So in this Didalia fungus, the first thing we must know, that is Basidia, length breadth, spore length breadth. Second thing, types of hyphae, whether it is monomitic, one type of hyphae, dimitic, two type of hyphae, or trimitic hyphal system. Okay, then third thing, some of the we can say chemical tests which we generally follow for morphological things, that also you should do. And with the help of all these things, you should generate some data over there, which is morphotaxonomical data. Of course, the morphological characters, those may be the microscopic characters or macroscopic characters. Okay, so both the characteristics, when we include in the you can say study, that is morphotaxonomy. Now, of course, internal and external characteristics. And the molecular one, if you go further for the DNA and RNA isolation, and on the basis of that DNA, if you could go further for the actual, you can say, linking with the previously reported species through that DNA sequences, of course, that is the molecular thing.
So next is a little big question. Thank you for the wonderful lecture, and special thanks to mention about morphotaxonomy and its importance. It's great motivation for us. I am working on morphotaxonomy of poroid mushrooms. We are having problem with describing hyphal systems, especially on hymenoketide mushrooms. Can you suggest any idea of or reference books to differentiate generative from skeletal hyphae in Hymenocetaceae based on any other criteria, rather thickness of wall and septum?
Okay, sir, I think Hymenocetaceae of India by Dr. J.R. Sharma is one of the best reference for that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So is there is a book for that? Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you. And another question is like, how to preserve fungal species for future studies? Is it normal herbarium making or some other thing?
Yeah, actually means if that fungal species is from mushroom, then of course dry preservation is the best preservation. But if some of the fungi are like from you can say wood rotting fungi, then wet preservations also can be done in some of the cases, but mostly dry preservation I will prefer. Okay. And because in dry preservation, although there are problems of some of the molds, but if you preserve it in a proper way, there are certain protocols on Google also, if you could follow, then definitely you can preserve it in a proper way.
Okay, sir.
There are certain procedures. Yeah.
Okay, sir. And is there any institute to identify fungus, various type of fungus? Any institute names like that?
Yeah, there are so many. In Pune also, Agarkar Research Institute is there, where you can get the identification, I think. Then Botanical Survey of India also is there. In some of the circles, you may get such type of identification services, because they provide generally identification services.
Okay, sir.
And regarding mushrooms, then Directorate Mushroom or the NRCM Chambaghat Solan, National Research Center for Mushroom, It is also rather they have developed more than we can say 1,000 I think 905 species book they have published by Honorable Director Dr. R.C. Upadhyay sir. He was the director of that institute and he has published that book. So one can refer that book also, and there are also some of the identification services
Okay, sir.
regarding mushroom.
Okay,
Yeah.
sir. Sir, give information about antiviral properties of fungals, antiviral potential.
Okay, actually, in real sense, there are so many. Like for example, the best fungal antiviral properties fungi showing you can check, that is Felinus is there, and second one is Ganoderma. These two are very common nowadays. People, rather companies like DXN also, they are preparing so many you can say tablets of Ganoderma. If you put DXN on net, then they can just show you the actual products, and they are preparing some of the coffees out of that Ganoderma fruiting bodies. Felinus coffee is also there, which is having antiviral, antibacterial, anti-diabetic effects, as well as some Ganodermas are also having the anti-cancerous effects also. So one can check it over there on the publications.
Okay, sir. The next question is, what is the role of aquatic fungi which are surviving in polluted waters? Does they cause pollution? What is their ecological role, sir? Like in
Yeah, actually, it's good question. Every fungus is having its own role in the ecology. So it is not specified that only specified fungus is having specified locality-wise role, but it is having very excellent roles over there. And many people are nowadays taking these fungi which are growing in those, you can say, polluted water, for taking out the pollution contents from that water. So that is also one of the fantastic role which we are exploiting from fungi.
Sir, can you explain the collection methods for fungus?
Yeah, collection methods, basically the boxes which we should carry means like for test tubes when we buy from the market, then we get some boxes of having squares in it. So such type of things are very good for collection of fungi, so that every specimen will be kept in the different, we can say, container like thing. So that is the first thing. And the second thing is to prepare some of the plastics bags for the temporary purpose. So while collecting whatever fungal types during your one-day journey, and later on come to your you can say residing residence, and then try to separate it out, try to dry it with the help of, you can say, so many ovens are there in a typical temperature, and then you can store it in a typical folder size also. And I think one can see very I mean good maintained lichen herbaria as well as fungal herbaria at Agarkar Research Institute also. One can go directly there in ARI Pune and can have a look how those are actually preserved in a perfect way.
Sir, is there any fungal flora of India, a monograph like that?
Actually,
Monograph.
fungal flora of, yeah, so means one can say it is a monographic work prepared by so many authors like Dr. Borse sir and all. But it is very necessary that not like that fungal flora somebody has prepared, but the floristic touch has been given by several scientists from India, like our Dr. J.R. Sharma sir from Botanical Survey of India wrote Hymenocrataceae of India or Polyporiaceae of India. So of course, those are the, you can say, taxonomic treatments which are given to such type of things. So this is sort of monographic levels also.
Is there any fungi are used to edible? Is there any fungi used as edible to use against immune system power boosting? immune
Yeah,
system
actually
boosting.
the fungus which we, yeah, actually we, which the fungus which we eat, that is the Pleurotus or whatever, that Agaricus bisporus, of course, very less sugar contents, and of course it is the immuno-boosting things are there. But in addition, I would like to add that there are some of the fungi like auricularia, that is Jews ear fungus. So some of the species are really, I mean, very good for the good immunity builder, we can say. And at the same time, one must use for the groups like Ganoderma. So rather there are many species of Ganoderma from Maharashtra also. So we are doing some work on that. They are used in a variety of, you can say, way. Like that, some people have already used this for several things like immunity building, as well as some anti-diabetic treatments also. So I think one must go for such type of things, but which should be followed, which are already published.
Okay, sir. Sir, how to conserve fungi in natural habitat as they decay after formation of fruiting body?
Yeah, actually, conservation means we have to, means like that. Suppose in your house you have brought some pot in which the plant has been planted. If some fungus comes in that, immediately our reaction is that it may be poisonous, it may not be useful for us, and immediately we pick it up and we throw it. So don't do that. Just try to develop that fruit body, try to degrade that fruit body over there only, because it is the seed of the next generation. So I think conservation means you should not disturb all these things, or we should not carry the fungus from one place to the other, because naturally it is growing over there, means of course it is having certain purpose over there. So that purpose, we should protect that thing, so that that organism will continue its purpose over there only. That is what the conservation.
And sir, there is a one question. If we prepare checklist of an area, at which journal we can publish it as a checklist? Like
Yeah,
suggest some journal or taxonomic
it's
literature.
yeah, it's a very good question actually. There are journals like one very nice journal is there, that is Mycosphere. That is one very good journal. Second journal, that is Cream Journal. You just put cream, CREAM on Google, you can get the journal. It is also very good journal. At the same time, our Kavaka is there, which is published by Mycological Society of India. Then one more is there, Indian Journal of Forestry. It is also good, because I have published my checklist in the Mycosphere only. And of course it is the online journal, and it is having very good reach to maximum people. As well as one more is there, that is Journal of Threatened Taxa. It is also good journal to publish such type of things, because many stalwarts of India from mycology have published their life work in the same journal. So I think these are some of the names of the journals.
Okay. Sir, another question. What is the difference between survey of macrofungi, checklist, and documentation of macrofungi? Survey, checklist, and documentation.
Okay. Survey is nothing but from take one area, just get how many species you are getting. Okay, that is the proper survey, that in this particular area, these many 50 types of species of fungi are there. 20 are from mushrooms, the 10 are from Aphalosporals, like that, or Ascomycetes. Okay, that is the typical survey. Now, after that survey, if you want to publish it, then make a proper checklist by its name, whatever you can say, locality, as well as the other things reported, means whatever geotag locations, etc. Then that will become the checklist. And if these things you want to publish online on your website, of course you can publish it in a form of you can say databases also. So just prepare the database of any certain area. Suppose you are from I'm from Pune, I will prepare fungi from Pune district. Like that, web page also will do, and on that web page you can just publish your data, or go for the research journals like Mycosphere or Kavaka. They will publish your data like this.
Yes, sir. So Another question is like endophytes can be documented under other documented fungi or separate group?
No, actually, endophytes are documented in the same way because, of course, it is part and parcel of the fungus only. Endophytes means there are endophytic bacteria also, but the fungal partners means like that in a single, you can say Catharanthus roseus, more than 7 to 8, you can say types or different types of species of fungi are there, which are endophytes. So one must record it, but of course, resource you can just put as a plant as an endophyte.
Okay, sir. Sir, is there any data on a thermophilic fungus in India?
Actually, yeah. Actually, I haven't tested yet because I haven't gone to the that data that is thermophilic. But I think it might be there, and I think this question you can just write it to Dr. Borse sir, who has contributed the monograph of aquatic fungi. Dr. Borse sir as well as Dr. DJ Bhatt sir also. They will be a very proper person to answer the thermophilics.
Okay, sir.
As well as I think in ARI, some of the, I think one group from microbiology has already worked on thermophilic fungi also. But please check it once.
Okay, sir. Sir, does the physiology of fungi reflect on taxonomy?
Yeah, of course it is going to.
Okay. And there is a suggestion to deposit the specimen in the university or herbaria, which will made available for further studies. Dr. Abhay
Yeah, it is there. Yeah. In Agarkar Research Institute, it is the depository is there, as well as I think IMTech Chandigarh also is having such type of things. You can get the cultures also from IMTech Chandigarh. It is very good institution. Yeah, one can just inquire there.
Okay. What AMF specifically need to sporulate in vitro? Your opinion on it, sir? As still we are using ROC to sporulate AMF. Hello. Hello, sir.
Okay. So hello. Okay.
Yes,
am I reaching? Okay. So yeah, just now what the question has been asked, that is on mycorrhiza. Okay, so there are persons from Maharashtra who are working on mycorrhizas, as well as from Goa also. I think you can. I have just shown one slide in which so many persons are there, so many scientists are there. So you can just contact those people for those arbuscular, whatever that mycorrhizal things.
Yes, sir. Okay, sir. So I think as of now, this much questions only. Okay. What type of interactions can be seen between bacteria and fungi?
Yeah, it is very excellent question. One must study, or one must go for such type of study because I think there are some interactions, because whenever any fungus is growing in soil, definitely it is having, the soil is of course the reservoir of so many things, that is fungi are there, bacteria are there, then so many organisms are there. So of course there is some interaction definitely, and one must study species wise, because as per my view, every species requires certain flora, like microbial flora also for its development. So I think one must study that.
Yes, sir. So, and another question is like, can checklist of fungi growing particularly and bag as is eligible for publication?
No problem, because if it is I mean continuously coming, then which type of species is coming? So you must study the taxonomy, basic taxonomy of it, then go for molecular taxonomy also. So it is quite possible that some of the strains of fungi may come on the specified substratum, that is host specific fungi also you may see. So those fungi may have some applications in the industrial purpose also for degradation of that bagasse and all. One must study.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much. Actually, this much only questions I have received. So if further questions, if we get it from through feedback form, I will let you know, sir. So I would like to thank our special guest, Dr. Kiran Ramachandra Ranadive, Associate Professor of Botany, CAS Camp, Abbas Sahib Karware College, PDS, Anna Sahib Magar Vidyalaya, Hadapsar, Pune, Maharashtra, for accepting our invitation and delivering an insightful presentation. The in-depth knowledge of him in the field of mycology and mycotaxonomy has inspired all the young minds who participated in the webinar. It helped us enormously in understanding the value of our national mycoflora and the need for more scientific validation and bioprospecting of mycological flora. The best part is that he carried out the entire talk with the application-oriented approach, which really helps the researchers to take up any further research on the field of mycology. In a nutshell, the talk can be considered to be a copy of reference for many researchers who wants to work on the mycotaxonomy and bioprospecting. And he has done so much of work that he has showed his website and all. That's so too much useful for the all the participants. I hope every participant will make use of those things. On behalf of AARI and eTeaching Tamil, I heartily express my sincere thanks once again for the session, sir.
Thank you, sir.
I also wish to thank our audience for showing their great interest in the session and also for patiently listening to the speaker. I thank you all once again. Without your support, we could not have succeeded this. So thank you so much. For last but not least, I thank board of directors and scientists and other staffs of AARI for continuously supporting me in organizing consecutive webinar sessions. I request all participants to visit our site aari.yolasite.com to know more about our upcoming webinar sessions. We are conducting continuously webinar sessions, so please do participate in all those things. And also make use of the website link which Kiran Ranadive sir has given us. So he has listed so many fungal flora of the nation. So you can also contribute to him by participating in that. So thank you so much for the session. So here we can end the session, I hope.